So while I'm recording this, something huge just happened. Liverpool just got beaten by the team that is the lowest position of championship in FA Cup. What? Hi. So, as you know me, obviously, I'm Wappa. It's been a long time since I've made any sort of video, but today, for some reason, I thought, you know what? Let's just start making YouTube videos because I have nothing to do right now. I'm going nowhere in my life. Just talk about the things you love. So right now I'm going to talk about Arsenal, basically, because as you can see, that's the club I'm wearing and a club that I actually support. The reason that I'm actually here is basically to answer one of the main questions. I've also seen Vijay making one of the just videos literally like an hour ago while I'm recording this. Being an Arsenal fan, I believe I can answer some of this. Okay, and it's a response to him, definitely not a diss track. I love his videos and I love like everything what he has done, and he's a great guy, he's an amazing guy, and shout out to him obviously because he's the one who doesn't have any subscriber. But yeah, that's why I'm going to talk about Arsenal and actually like thing that the video title is. Being an Arsenal fan, it has been a roller coaster of emotion for not only for past 2 years, not only 3 years, 4, 5. Like at the very beginning of like my starting of supporting Arsenal club, it was nothing but just a roller coaster of emotion. I even asked myself that why do I even support this club all the fucking time, every time. Like, look at what happened in the last week. We have beaten Manchester City 5-1. Even in my wildest dream, if anyone said that you're gonna beat this Man City team 3 years ago, I would have been like, come on, man, say something better. Like, what did Kanye West say? That's the most important joke you can actually throw it right now. But not Arsenal beating Man City 5-1. But we have done that. But in the same week, we just got eliminated from Carabao Cup. How does that work? It's how us supporting Arsenal is. It's frustrating. It's filled with all of the emotions. Like, you cannot just feel great all the time. You cannot even feel great for 2 or 3 days because the next game you're gonna fuck it up. Doesn't matter which team you have actually beaten before, and that's the issue of Arsenal Football Club. But that's also the reason why I love Arsenal, because it gives you the emotions, the feelings. Like, so come on, imagine supporting Manchester City for past how many years. This is the year that you guys are crying because you are in the 4th position. You just got beaten Arsenal by 5-1. Who cares? We are the one in the other position. We know how it feels to get back to that level, and we are still not in that level because we are in, this is the 3 years running, we are in the 2nd position. The last 2 years we've been in the 2nd position and we were bottled it. These years we were not even in the position in the number 1 position at all, but we believe we still cannot get there. That's how difficult it is to support Arsenal. But we're positive. We do not leave the club. If any of my interview board actually asks why do I take a PQ for this company, why are you loyal? Dude, I support Arsenal for I don't know how many years. So you're gonna kill yourself within 3 years. Sadly, that's also the reason why people hate Arsenal. The fans are very loyal, amazing, incredible community. But are they? Let me get this straight. Being an Arsenal fan, I'm going to defend myself. I'm obviously going to say that Arsenal fan is not the worst. Definitely not. They're not the worst at all. But they're not the best. You also have to understand what we've been through. Yeah, for a lot of British club, I just want to say beforehand, as you can see, I'm not British. I mean, I don't know if you can see or not, unless you can just hear it. My English is not perfect at all. It has filled with tons of grammatical mistakes with pronunciation and everything, and I'm always stuttering. I'm not a English speaking guy. I'm not Englishman. I'm not a British. I'm Bangladeshi, and I've been supporting a Premier League team for 12 to 13 years or more, and I've been following Premier League for a long time. It's like a huge thing in my life. I've been following not just Premier League, Championship, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Spanish La Liga, Champions League.
One eternity later.
I follow a lot of European football. That's the main thing. I should have just said that. I'm sorry. Forgive me. But yeah, we Arsenal fan has went through a lot. Man United is quite similar to us, because at one time we were at the top level. Actually, not the top level, not similar level. Obviously, Man United was always way above us, and there's no no issue of me saying it, that Man United has always been and still is the number one British club in the world, number one English club in the world. So yeah, Arsenal and Man United at the time, they were here. Other clubs, other English clubs, that they were nowhere near it. Maybe Liverpool, obviously, Chelsea, obviously, top six. But Arsenal and Man United, they were like, neck to neck from the very beginning of the Premier League. After the Henry era and the Bergkamp era, Arsenal just wasn't at the top. Wenger was there. We had good qualities up there. We came second. We were at least top four, but after a lot of years, we weren't even there. We were a regular Europa League team. After that, we weren't even a Europa League team. We came 8th twice. The only reason why we're in a Europa League team, because Aubameyang carried Arsenal to a FA Cup victory. I still don't know. I still look at these clips. I still don't know how Arsenal managed to win the FA Cup with this team.
But Dibu, Shabba Dabba Gooba like a Meebu. Labba Labba, Labba the Babba, Glabba, Ribba, Grabba Labba.
Oh, tongue twister.
Like Gabba Gabba. Yabba the Sabba Dabba, you Baba Babba. Moose, Abba Labba Duba, Caduce. Metamorphosis, Aporphosis, Morca, Laborta, Labba, Gorba, Libba.
Laboratory.
But again, I just saw Liverpool losing in FA Cup with the team that is in a relegation battle, and definitely, obviously, I believe they're gonna go back to League One in the next season in FA Cup, because that's what FA Cup is, But in the past 3 years, at least we're second. But we didn't want to be second. We want to win. Every top teams want to battle for the Premier League title, and for the past 3 years we have been battling it. But the sad thing is, we believe it was just Man City. But this year it was not. Man City is now nowhere near the level they were in the last 2 years, with the injuries and a lot of reasons. But Liverpool has overthrown us somehow. Like, they came around and Arne Slot, the man, he's the man. We have the squad, we have everything. Now we can actually fight for the Premier League. But sir, Arsenal is fighting with Man City. Can we beat them? Fuck yeah. And they've done it. Like, supporting Arsenal is very difficult, because it's never the thing that you actually dreamt of. You've win it, because we haven't won the Premier League. We're right in this season, we're second with a huge gap, with a game in hand for Liverpool. We're out of FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We're somehow in the Champions League. We've done decent in Champions League, but I don't know how long the run is gonna be there. And I believe all the Arsenal fan knows, one time we're gonna be kicked out of Champions League. The only thing we are competing for is Premier League, but again, there's so many huge gaps. So we are not even like what these 3 years have been. We are in a progression of the table, second. So what we see, a little tiny bit of hope or a little tiny bit of achievement, we just do it hugely. Like, we exaggerate things a bit, and nobody loves exaggerating things. From being I can say from a perspective of others, we hate, it's very annoying to constantly nagging you, we've beat 5-1, fuck, you have nothing. We as an Arsenal fan, when some Man City supporters come and like, oh, how many Champions League do you have? The only thing we can cut back, like, in 2011, how many supporters do you have? But again, we know in next 10 years, that's not going to be a question, because the history is going to change, the story is going to change. We just have to accept some things, that right now Arsenal is nowhere near the level it was 12-13 years ago. Right now it is going there. Obviously, I can still dream for a Premier League, winning the Premier League. That even in the 4 years ago, if someone said you're gonna be a competition to win the Premier League, we're like, what? We are not even in the Champions League, mate. They're like, something big is happening. So we have that dream, we have that ambition, but we just couldn't get there. But because of that dream, we just always in a position where we feel like, any sort of win is a huge win for us. That's a very cute thing, that's a very wholesome thing, that's a very amazing thing. But what our fan base, and a lot of fan bases, definitely not everyone, but a lot of fan bases does is exaggerate things, especially on the online. Because in front, whenever I see an Arsenal fan, they're always humble. They're like, "Are we winning the league?" I said no. It's like, yeah, no. But on the online page, they're the one with the constantly like the keyboard smashing it like this. Stop doing that. To any Arsenal fan who's watching this, if you are watching this, because my video is definitely not gonna get the views, but if you are an Arsenal fan and you're watching this, stop doing that. It puts a lot of pressure towards the player. It puts a really bad impression for us in the future. But by also saying that, I'm not gonna say that's like give up on yourself. Don't. We're the second best English club in the world, and right now we have the reason to speak louder, we have the reason to say things, we have the reason to compete. Like when Lewis Kelly actually celebrated like Haaland, am I doing it right? I don't know, like Haaland, and people started to talk about that's immature. First of all, he's not a proper adult, so you cannot expect a mature reaction from him. But what he is mature. Saying stay humble, okay, it's a huge banter, it's a funny banter, right? But you have to say, who are you saying to? It's Arteta, the guy who has been assistant coach under your club, and you're disrespecting him. You're also disrespecting Gabriel Jesus after that, saying bad things, who has a huge more history with Man City than you have still yet. I'm sorry, you have yet. It's a bit harsh, I believe, and at that time no one was saying anything. So whenever you clap back and you go against people, started like, yeah, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that, that's mean. Now no, you have to understand from our perspective, it was demoralizing, it was disrespectful, and we at that moment we just had to get back to him, and we just did. But that's it, that's where it should end now. Haaland also should believe that that's where it should end, and also Arsenal fan and Arsenal team, they should believe like, okay, they clapped, they said mean things to us, we took a revenge, and let's just end it all. At the end of the day, on the pitch, it's a game, it's the passion, it's the aggression, it's everything that you have to show on the pitch. But off the pitch you have to be humble. But that's where we are lacking. Off the pitch we need to be humble. Off the pitch we have to accept the fact that we're still not on the top position, or we're not the best team or best English team in the world, but we will be there. We have to understand that. We have to be humble, but we have to stay and remain supportive. We have to remain determined. Like recently, what is happening about Ethan Nwaneri?
Ethan Nwaneri.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say his name Ethan. Everyone says his name Ethan because no one actually knows how the second name pronounces. I'm sorry, Nwaneri. Ethan. Right now, Ethan and Lewis Kelly is the name of the Arsenal right now, because they've been doing amazing things, and I'm really, really proud of him. And I always want this type of player to get into the position where the potential is showing. We had so many amazing young prospects who just couldn't live up to the Arsenal level. Still they have time, still they're in a Premier League club, still there's a huge possibility for them to even surpass us, the level that we thought that he was not gonna be. But I believe the pressure was the reason why he just couldn't be here. They couldn't be here. One of the I have two names that I'm gonna say in the recent times. That number one is Emil Smith-Rowe, and another one is Eddie Nketiah. Still, Emil Smith-Rowe is one of the most incredible potential player, a huge future prospect. But you have to understand that you're going in a stage when you shouldn't be a future prospect anymore, because your compliance, because your colleague or because your teammate Bukayo Saka is already in a much more better position. So there's definitely not comparison between these two. There's definitely not a thing. But in a world of a healthy competition, he is lacking behind, but he shouldn't be, right? I believe his confidence is the reason why it didn't match up to it, because for some reason, just like that, he became the number 10 for Arsenal. He was an amazing player. He was an amazing youngster. I had always dreamed of him playing in a Smith-Rowe, being in the left, in the 4-4-2 formation, Saka being on the right side, Trossard or Martinelli was on the left side, Odegaard on the middle, right mid, not the right mid, like right center mid, and in the left center mid there's gonna be Emil Smith Rowe in the front. We're gonna have two, maybe Havertz one, and another striker, Gabriel Jesus, and the front four is always the way it is. Saka, Martinelli from the right flank attack. They can go back to 4-2-4 on the time of attacking, and Smith Rowe will cut on go into the center more if the go to center more if the attack is coming from the right side, because he's a right-footed, so he had much better finishing. And Odegaard will go into the center when the ball is coming from the left, because he is left-footed. He would have been provided off. There was so much opportunity for Emil Smith Rowe to be fitted in this team. He needed just that training. But I still don't understand why number 10 was given to him, because he's still a young player. He needed to be a little bit more matured for at least a season or two to see him that whether he can get there or not. You can hang around it like, this is the jersey you want, this is the place you want, come here. You have the ability. That's why I'm showing it to you. We will support you, and I had no reason for not to support Emil Smith Rowe. I'll always support Emil Smith Rowe. Still, I will support Emil Smith Rowe. But you have to understand where is that at the time when I believe he was like in the pinnacle of his career, the peak of his career, but he just would have gone to a different level. At that time, we put an extra burden that you're not gonna be the number 10. You're gonna be the name of Arsenal, and it just crumbled with also the fitness issues, the injuries, and everything is not good. But confidence is one of the most important thing in football, and he just lacked, I believe. And another player that I want to talk about is Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah was our third striker, and he was doing good as a sub player, as a impactful sub. He was always there. But that was it. After Aubameyang left, the number 14, the legacy of number 14 jersey, which has been dragged from Henry to a lot of players, and also now Aubameyang, who did amazing. I'm just sad that how it ended with Aubameyang with us, but again, whatever he did for club is always going to be amazing. But after that, it went to Nketiah, and he became the number 1 striker, from an impactful second substitute option to directly a player that is gonna be on the starting lineup from the very beginning. I believe that sort of pressure he just couldn't achieve. Yeah, you can have that debate that, okay, they get so much money, we are always supporting them, then they have to have that ability to gain that pressure. Yes, they have to have that ability, but you also have to give them the opportunity to gain that ability so that they can actually get around with that pressure. Give him number 14 jersey, and in making him the only striker is not the way to do it. Gradually you have to make it, because he still have his prime ahead of him. That's what we thought. But right now, where both Smith Rowe or Nketiah is, we are still believing that his prime is gone, and they're just 23, 24. What about the Saka's age? It's a bit sad. But Saka is an exceptional player. I'm not going to compare Saka with Emil Smith Rowe in that case, because Saka is an exceptional player. What he has went through since the first Euro he participated in, with all the racial things. Even if we actually omit all the racial things, he was already definitely going to kill himself inside, because of I know that there was a lot of things going inside of him, because he literally missed the penalty, the most crucial penalty, and that actually lost England their title. So that's gonna always hit him, and still he actually fought through racial slurs and everything that people were throwing at him, fought everything, and took the pressure of I'm gonna be the right winger, I'm gonna be the star boy, I'm not gonna be only the star boy, I'm gonna be the star player of Arsenal. And he did amazing, and he's still doing amazing. That's what I want to see from Ethan and Miles Kelly. In the next 5 to 6 years, I want them to be the star player, to be the regular starter, to be the difference maker and everything. But right now, we have to give him the opportunity to develop themselves as a player. There's a lot of issues they're amazing at on the pitch, because they're at 18 or 19 or 17. Whenever 17 years old actually going to see these amount of players, people are supporting you, that's a huge responsibility, obviously, but a lot of support is actually a huge less burden, because they know that, okay, they're behind me. 60,000 people is behind me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And that's the mentality they have right now. They need to keep that mentality but be more mature about it. So we have to give them the opportunity to get into that stage. Before that, I believe we shouldn't just stop it and say that, okay, he's gonna be the star boy, he's already the star boy, he's competing him, he's the next this, is the next that, he's next nothing. I don't want Miles Lewis Kelly to be the next of whoever you want to say the best LB is, or even if his position actually changes back. I believe them to be themselves. I believe the way Saka is Saka. I believe Ethan to be Ethan, and I believe Miles Kelly to become Miles Kelly, but the Miles Kelly, the star player, not the star boy only. But for that they have to be mature, and for that we have, as a fan, have to support them without putting any sort of pressure at them, without saying exaggerating things, without saying exaggerated things against towards our opponents. Oh, we have Miles Kelly. Yes, we have Miles Kelly, we are proud of it, but still Miles Kelly needs to prove a lot. Still, we're always gonna be behind Miles Kelly, whatever he do, because if you can see how the red card actually thrown away the things that happened with the Premier League referee stuff, we can actually see that the reason was the Arsenal's fan constantly backing that yes, this shouldn't be red, and other people also saying, other non-Arsenal fan was also saying yes, this shouldn't be red, and that's how we actually got that win. But we can see the other non-Arsenal fans also said that it wasn't red, and that also helped a lot. We also need those things. We also need to have a level of respect from us. Obviously, the rivals, they're not gonna love us. I don't care if they love us, but come on, we have to earn our respect back. We need to stay humble. We don't have to be always exaggerate things. Ethan, he's still no one. He will be someone, and we will make sure that he will be someone. Same goes to Miles Lewis Kelly. And that's why people hate Arsenal, because Arsenal fans on online chats the most amount of shits than they actually do. Support your player. If anyone comes against your player, just defend them. You don't need to lower your level down and always continue fighting. You have just back your team, back your players. If anyone says mean things about any of them, back your teams. But you don't have to always say that we are the best team in the world, because inside of us, as an Arsenal fan, I believe we're the best team in the world, and you also believe you're the best team in the world, and we will continuously believe that even if we get relegated or anything bad happens. But we also have to understand that we still need a long way to go to be the best team in the English football tier. So this is just my answer. Why I personally believe, no offense to any Arsenal fans, because I'm also an Arsenal fan. You can say, oh, you're not a real Arsenal fan because Arsenal is not your local club, but you don't have any idea how much I have supported Arsenal from thick and thin. There's no reason for me to support Arsenal. As you said, this is not even my local club. I'm not even British. I'm Bangladeshi. But that's how much I love and I support Arsenal. Because from being so far away, I still watches every game, follows every news, follows everything, gives everything that I can to the club. And I will continuously do that. But I also have to accept the fact that we are not still the best. But one day we will be. And the day we will be there, no one can stop us. That's the day when you have earned to say things against about the opponents, against the people that have doubted us. But till then, we have a lot to show for. So yeah, that's why people just hate Arsenal, because we act immaturely in online. We have to stop that. Don't say Arteta out. Never say Arteta out right now, at least. I don't know what's gonna be the future. I'm not gonna beg for anything. He will do mistakes in the future, obviously not. If he does any mistakes in future, I'm obviously not gonna back him. But till now, he's been the reason why we are still in a position to talk back, at least. So give him more opportunities, more options. He also needs that level of players to fulfill his dream, fulfill his tactics, and the support of us. Kind of disappointing how this January transfer ended, because we were that club that needed striker most than anyone else in the entire world, but we just couldn't get it done. maybe a lot of reasons for bored or anything, you know what? I'll talk about transfer window and the transfer of mostly about the European football in the next video. Till then, stay safe, take care.